Hey guys, John Stevens here again at Working Man Success. I come on here every day and talk about ideas, concepts, plans, and lessons that I've learned in my past that I think if you listen to it, especially as a young person that's getting into the working world, that will help you move up the ladder of success and build a better life for you and your family. And guys, today I want to talk about our ability to design our own life. This is something that I failed at for many years, and I'm still paying the price that I didn't realize it early in life. But we have the ability to design how our life turns out and the quality of life we live. And I really want the young guys to comprehend that as early as possible, because we're fighting a battle in today's society where the system is set up to design your life for you. And yesterday I talked a lot about college and your choice to go to college and why that may or may not make sense, and to realize that college degree is a system set up to really create a customer for you to pay for that for years. And we need to understand if we're getting benefit from it before we make the decision to go to college and get in the debt and pay for it for years. But guys, designing your own life, this is something that I really did not grasp for a long time. And we go through our young years in school, and where our life is dictated a lot by what our parents do, what they allow us to do, what they don't allow us to do. And that is absolutely necessary, because we would make some horrible mistakes if we didn't have people that kind of directed our path in the right direction. But as we get out on our own, the system itself is built to, take advantage of the way your mind has been built for years. And I want to really express the fact that knowing that we have the ability to design our own life, and being able to think through the next few years when you make a big decision. And so we automatically think as a young person that life is dictated and we deal with life as it comes. But the choices we make has a huge impact on the way our life turns out and the stuff we get in. So I want to go through a few little things here. Like the education system, like I talked about yesterday, it's designed to push you toward college out of high school. And really, their motive behind that, not your teachers, because they probably do not look at it like this, but they have been taught also. They have been, it's been built in them to push people toward college. And why is that? Is because college, if you go to college for 4 years, you are probably, most of the people that go to college are going to accumulate a big number of debt that they have to pay back. And what does that do is it builds a customer for the education system. And that's a business, right? When all businesses are in the market of creating customers. So the education is no different. The education system wants customers. So they push you toward college to build a customer for years. After you get out of college, you're still paying for college for years and years after you get out to pay back the debt. All right, so you got that. And then, like when you get out of college or you get out of high school, you start making money. You want to buy the thing, right? You want to buy the fancy new truck. You want to buy the boat. You want to buy all this stuff, and you can afford it. This is where one of my biggest mistakes I made is I got out of high school and I didn't go to college, but I did get a really good job and I made really good money. So what that allowed me to do is go into a really deep debt because I was making good money, so I could get loans. And I've got loans, and I bought the new truck, and I bought the new boat, and I bought the stuff that I wanted, which, I probably bought a house that a house is on its own separate thing. Like that's a decision that you have to make if you're going to, if you, a house is a good investment, but making money allows you to get into debt, which creates customers. It creates a customer out of you. And what a customer really is, a lifelong customer is really a lifelong slave. So when you start getting into debt, you're creating a slave for the system. And so you buy the fancy truck, right? And then you go into debt, and that creates a long-term customer for the bank. You're paying that back. The food industry is the same way. You're not going into debt to buy food, or at least I hope you're not. But the food industry is designed, the pharmaceutical companies and the food industries works together. And the food industry will make you sick. It's trying to deliver the cheapest food it possibly can to you, and it's not nutritional. And everything that is very easily affordable, the fast food restaurants or like everything that comes in a box and all this stuff, is designed to make you fat and sick over time. And what that does is it makes you go to the doctor, and the doctor puts you on a lifelong pill. And the more pills you get on, it's creating a customer. Now, is the people that's actually prescribing you the medicine or taking care of you or all that stuff, the people that's actually producing the food, it's not them, it's the system. It's the way the system is built is to constantly create customers out of us, which in turn creates us a lifelong slave to the system. And credit cards are horrible, right? So if you put something on a credit card, you end up paying a lot more for what you bought than what it actually costs, because it's interest. It's reoccurring interest that you have to pay every month on something that should have been paid off a long time ago. And it's creating a lifelong customer, for the banks, for the credit card companies, and the streaming systems today. Like how many programs do we need? We got Netflix, we got Hulu, I don't even know them. I don't even know what all they are, but it seems like there's 10 or 15 different streaming companies, and I know people that has them all. They have all these things. And to have that, you got to have internet, and to do anything today, you've got to have the internet. So it's the way the whole world is designed is to create a never-ending customer out of you. And the more you become a customer, you also become a slave to the system. And yes, the way the system is set up to make it through, to live a good life, to move forward, you're going to have to dabble in some of these things. I mean, you're probably going to have to buy a house if you want to live in a certain area. Now, you don't have to. You can always rent, and I'm not sure that ain't the best approach now. You rent somewhere, you're able to move as you need to, and you're not stuck in a situation. You never have to come up with this huge down payment. And renting is a very possible thing that a lot of people can do. And it also creates movability. Like if you decide to move somewhere else, because of a job, because of the weather, because of whatever the reason, you have that ability. You can make adjustments and you're not stuck anywhere. So that is a thing that's just a choice everybody has to make personally. But realizing that we have the power to design our freedom and design our own life is a huge thing to keep in mind if you're young. And I've got a buddy that talks about designing your own life. There's 4 big mistakes that you really, really need to keep in mind and try to avoid at all costs. If you get one of these mistakes, you could probably pull yourself out of it. If you make 2 of these big mistakes, it's almost going to devastate your whole life and for a major portion of it. And the 4 mistakes is what he said is get into major debt when you're young. So you get in over your head, you buy a house you can't afford, you get a major loan to go into business that you really don't know that you can make it work. And so you get into major debt and you have to pay this stuff back. And it makes you a prisoner. It makes you a customer. It makes you a slave for many, many years. So getting into major debt when you're young is a big thing. Having a child with the wrong person. So, I'm not going to talk much on that. I think y'all know if you have a child with the wrong woman, it's going to cost you a lot of pain, a lot of sorrow, and it's not going to be good for the kid. And you're going to be trying to fix that problem and give that kid the best life you possibly can with the constant battle of dealing with somebody that you don't get along with and you have problems with, and it's a bad situation, and it will cause you problems for years and years. And it's also going to be a very hard thing on the child itself. So keep that in mind. Getting into debt, having a kid with the wrong person, getting a felony, getting caught up with the wrong crowd, running around with the wrong crowd, and if you mess up and do something that you're just not thinking one night, maybe you're drinking, maybe you're doing whatever you're doing, if you're running around with the wrong crowd, you can screw up really, really easy and get a felony. And if you get a felony, it's going to hurt your whole life because there's going to be a lot of jobs you can never do. It's going to hurt your income. It's going to hurt you lifelong. And the last one he said is like getting addicted to a drug or alcohol that you can't hardly break. People always think that, like they can dabble with it and not get addicted to it. And that's just usually not the case. If you think you're not going to get addicted to it, that's usually the people that is getting addicted to it. So I'm going to go over them real quick. Getting into major debt when you're young, having a kid with the wrong person, getting a felony, or getting a major addiction to a bad substance, drugs or alcohol, is going to cause you a lifelong, a lot of pain throughout your life. And one other thing, this video is running longer than I expected it to, but one other thing is I don't really know how to say this, but the ability to have nice things, the ability to go where you want to go, the ability to quit a job that is not good for your sanity, the ability to change jobs is much more important than having all the things that you want. So like I said, if you buy the new truck, if you buy you're always going into debt because you can't afford the payments. You making enough money to afford the payment, so you buy the thing, and it puts you in a situation where you have to continue to stay and do the thing that you don't want to do. A lot of times, so what are you giving up when you buy something that puts you into $40,000, $50,000 in debt? What are you giving up? You're giving up the ability to change jobs. That, you know, the other job may make you much happier, but you may have to take a cut in pay for a year or two until you top out, or you know, you advance that career, where you're working now is actually paying you more as of the moment, but you're miserable. You hate your job, you hate your boss, you hate the people you work with. But if you have created a system where you can't miss a paycheck, and you cannot afford to make that swap and take that cut and pay for a little while, you have to stay where you're at, because you have created a slave out of yourself, because you've bought all the things that on credit. So guys, I rambled a little bit on this. I think you get my point. But if you're a young person and you're getting out of school, and you know, you're getting in the working world, you're starting to make some money, be careful on how you go into debt and design your future, because the more debt you get into, you're creating a customer for the system and a slave out of you, and you're dictating years of your life that could be going down a path that you really don't want to go down. So think them things through. Live within your means. Like I said, this is probably one of the biggest mistakes that I made. I bought the nice stuff. I spent the money. I got into debt. I bought things that I couldn't afford, and it really limited my life on what I could do, where I could go, you know, what vacations I could go on. It really limited me on the ability to do things. Now, so I'm going to shut it off there. Like I said, I'm rambling. I don't want these videos to go long, and this is going way too long. But if you get in the comments and give me an agree or disagree, like it, share it, send it to somebody who needs to hear it. I will talk to you all tomorrow. Thanks for listening, guys.